Hello and welcome to episode 49 of Building a Multiplayer Game in Flutter. In this episode, I want to kind of prepare us to actually finish, ideally in the next episode. In the last episode, we managed to be able to have a kind of a game over screen, right? So basically, if you shot the other player, if we were shot, right? If we died, basically, we got this game over screen and it kind of worked to restart another game. So I want to fix it. I want to make sure that when we hit game over, we can just say play another game and it starts. Another thing that I want to do is that when the player basically wins, like if it's the last player, we think that the player won. And in that case, I want basically to say also kind of a game over, except you won, right? And then also another button to start the game over. So that's the goal for today. So let's see what we have here. If you shoot this player, now this player is dead, and a new game button comes up. And this player here won now, right? So this is what's missing. Like we need to have some overlay. We need to have the server basically tell the client that, hey, there's only one player left, so that means that that player must have won, right? So now if I click on new game here, we have a bug, and that's what I want to fix first, and then we'll get to the other thing. So let's see what's actually going on here. And we ran into this last time, and we couldn't really fix it because OBS was giving us problems because it made everything slow on our machine. So I'm going to watch this carefully here. I have the activity, you can see this, but I have the activity monitor open, make sure that this doesn't happen again. And if it does, I'll probably just interrupt the stream and start over. Okay, so we have a problem here. So in line 86, it's basically saying the player cannot be null. So when does this happen? Basically when we get the client player. So, and this happened after we restarted the game. So let's look closer at what the, actually we probably want to, maybe we can do this. This is interesting. So basically this is that player. And it can now shoot that player. And we don't even know who that is. Interesting. So this player is not synced to this anymore. So there's definitely something that's not working in multiple ways. But we'll fix it. So let's look at what happens when actually we start a new game, right? So let's make this a little bigger so we have a little more space. So when we say new game requested, right? This is where what we were passing to our game over screen. And this was passed to us from above. So the running game, and this is instantiated. We get new game requested, and it's this one, and it says start new game. And that doesn't seem to work. So maybe it has to do with the fact when we dispose here, we had to dispose true. Okay. So that was basically to tell the game to no longer render anything. However, the error was coming from inside from here, client player. So we could also say if dispose return, right? Who's asking actually for this? So let's figure that out. For instance, here we're asking for it, right? But we shouldn't, right? Because we already disposed the game. So let's just go through these and look at. Here we also shouldn't get this, right? We shouldn't get it because we should never get here if we are dead. Obviously, if you're in the middle of an update, then that could cause a problem. So let's see. But we have another one here. We have input synchron processor. So that's that guy. That shouldn't be running either anymore. And then here, as you can see, we are asking basically for this multiple times for this client player. It looks like it's a variable. It's actually a getter. That is interesting. I mean, it might be that we're getting an update, and while we are running this function, we are somehow disposing. I doubt it, though. I doubt that can happen. This is a dispose, right? That is really odd. What I want to do is I want to see if so actually let's look at the stack trace where we're coming from, right? So what is, it happened, it came from here. So if you had been disposed already, we would have returned, right? It seems like we are not properly disposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change our level again to only have one player. I guess we have to kill ourselves. Yeah, we can kill ourselves, right? Remember how to do that. We just have to hit a wall and make the damage really high if we hit a wall. So let's just do that. This is the quickest way to fix this. So let's just do like simple, and let's just remove the one player here. Now if we restart the server, now basically that means that the server now thinks the level only has one player. And most likely, actually we need to probably, even on the server, update the game props, right? So the game props here, we need to say that the player hits wall factor is freaking huge, right? And so now we should be able to restart the server. We're just going to try this real quick. Restart this client, and now when we hit the wall, we should die immediately pretty much. And you have a game over, right? And now what I want to do is like, I want to print when we're getting the player now. I want to see if this post is true. So we're going to log the info. I'm just going to say disposed. All right, so let's see now what happens. We want a new game. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we didn't reload, so yeah, that's a problem. Let's try if we dispose is false. Okay, so that seems to be our problem. Why? Interesting. Why is it not disposed? Is it because we already created a new one? So let's actually go through. It might be that the problem lies elsewhere. So let's look through this. So we're disposing the game, and then we create a client. Let's stop this guy for a second. So we're basically disposing. Let's put a log statement here. Log dot okay, and you can see that since we have dispose here in the message, we get this nice little recycle thing. That's part of our beautiful log library, which, however, is missing like categories. So that's another thing I would like to fix, but that is for later. But let's look at what's going on. So this now says disposing. So let's just say we restart our client, and I want to see if we're actually disposing or not, because I want to get to the point where I understand better what's going on. Like right now, this client game should not exist anymore. Because we set it to null, but then we create a new client, get a new arena. So let's do this. Okay, so dispose false. Okay, fine. Okay, so we should probably remove that though. Let's remove that log statement in the when we get the client. No. This is just too much. So let's. Okay, now we are dead. And now what I want to do is I want to basically do this. Okay. Disposing, huh? Right? So we are disposing. So this is what's going on. Somehow we are disposing, and then somehow we create. I think what's happening is we create the new game, because you're never setting disposed anywhere, right? Except here. So we are disposed. And then what's happening is we're creating a new client, and we create a new client game state. and somehow I think we are creating a new game somewhere, right? So let's see. I think this is happening. Something is good. So it's some weird condition where we're just creating a new game, and then already we're still having the old client or something like that is going on. So we'll have to look at that. Where are we actually doing that? So let me stop this guy because this is getting a little bit annoying. So let's look at this. Start new game. Okay. So we dispose the game. We create a new client. Right? And we did not assign a game yet. So I think we're missing something. Huh. Here we go. We have a running game here. So actually we should go back to the non-running game. Right? I think that's what our problem is. Oh, I think that's what our problem is. So the client game state sync. If the game is null, we show this client game. We create one, right? Okay, so that's happening on build. That's happening whenever this is happening whenever we get a stream. So somehow the server sends us game state events off this game. Yes, now I'm starting to get it. So basically, the game is disposed, but now we got a game state event of a client that doesn't exist anymore. So actually, we need to somehow this game state event. We need to actually, well, we are reassigning it to something, but maybe we need to do that before. Like maybe we need basically to stop the stream. Does it make sense? And also another thing, the problem is that when we build, yeah. So one thing what I want to see is I want to see if we get this build thing here, and yeah, we are missing the log here. But there's some weird thing going on when we're starting the game. Some really weird thing. I bet you if we would hot restart, it would all work. And that's basically what's going on. And when you hot restart, things get reset. And when we just start a new game, something doesn't get reset properly. And I think it has to do maybe with this event here, which is basically what it is. It's still delivering us information about the old client somehow. And I think that's what's happening. And then we're basically saying, well, what I'm trying to say is I think what we're getting an event still from the old client, right? But we already have a new game created. So now basically it's looking for that client and it doesn't have it. I think that's something along those lines is happening. So let's look at this stream. Like it shouldn't have. But I don't understand. So because here we're waiting, right? So while we're waiting, it looks like we need to reset this event stream first, right? And start new game here. We need to dispose this. We need to unsubscribe from it. Yes, that's what we need to do. Okay, so game state event dot close or something. We can't do that, right? So, okay, so we can't close it here, but basically it's coming from our client, right? So the current client, before we create it, we need to basically say client dot, we need to dispose it first. Because we're disposing the game, but we're not disposing the client. So let's just do that here. So first we dispose the client, and now that should actually clean up the subscription. Let's see. Yeah, so basically it basically cleans up these game state events, right? So now we shouldn't be getting any more. Okay, this could be part of the solution at least. So let's just restart this. So everyone understand what's going on, I hope? So basically, I think what's happening, we started a new game and we had a new client, or maybe we didn't even have a client yet. Yet we were still getting events from the previous client. And then basically our assert failed because it says, well, there is no such client among those players. So let's see what's happening here. Let's die and let's start new. We still have the same problem. But now we're getting, okay, now we're getting something interesting. We're getting upstate sprites was called on null. But here we have the same thing. Right? Player with ID should exist. And now suddenly we're getting all these weird things where it says something was called on null. Let's see what's null. Oh, here are other things. So basically we're getting, it looks really like we're getting stuff from players that are no longer playing. So maybe we won't do this for now. I mean, there's some really weird things going on. And we are disposing, so I don't understand why we would still getting. Let's see what else is in this client that we're disposing. Right, this whole client needs to clean up everything. So let's just look. We have input events, and we have game state events. Oh, we're not disposing that one, are we? Yep. So if, and those are actually the important ones. Okay, I don't understand. Hold on, let's look at this. So game state events, we can't close it. Let's see, we can't. Okay, so I'm really wondering you. So we can't. Let's see. Hold on, this would suck if we can't close it. But we must have some subscription somewhere, right? Okay, so. Oh yeah, so basically in the stream controller we have the subscription. So here in the stream builder, that holds the subscription. Now how do we tell it to disconnect? Interesting, right? It's almost like we need to. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Because right now what's happening is basically the stream builder is subscribing to these game state events. we can't kill these game state events from the client directly. Basically, what we need to do instead, we need to somehow kill the subscription of this stream. So this stream, so basically here there's a subscription that should happen. So somewhere the stream builder is subscribing to this, and it's basically it basically stops subscribing once it disappears, right? Once the widget is basically removed from the tree or something like that. So actually we need to get this removed. So basically, let's see. So we have a running game. And then we also should have a waiting game, right? Waiting for players. Where are we using that? Okay, so here we go. So basically, if the snapshot data is null, or the client dot, or the game is disposed at the moment. We could probably just say, yeah, let's see. Let's create a getter around our disposed thing. Right, so now we can say or game.disposed. Then we won't do then we'll return waiting for players. So we won't return that stream, which means it would have to be collected. But let me make sure that that's actually what's going on. So basically right now what would happen, well, the problem is that actually we almost need to do this here. Because right now the stream builder doesn't get collected yet, right? So it's almost like we want to also do a waiting for players up here in a way. So it's almost like we want to do this thing here. Does that make sense? Right? Because we don't even need the stream builder. We don't even want it if the game is not there, if the game is disposed. Then here basically it's like we have a new game and we have a new stream, but the stream doesn't have data yet. Then we're waiting for waiting for players still. I hope that will work. I mean, that would mean that once the game is no longer disposed, it would get rid of the stream builder at least for a second. It could work. So basically it would give us this. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Let's think. Maybe the game doesn't get created until here. Oh yeah, here we go. So we have a really weird thing here where we're basically creating the game on demand. Which is weird. Right? Basically, we're saying that we're just going to hook up the stream builder, and then we're going to wait till we get some data from the stream builder, and then we're actually going to create a game, which kind of makes sense. But then we actually need to do this here also in waiting for players. I don't necessarily like it. So here we're basically saying that we can't create the game until we know something. I think this is like it's because of this weird streaming thing that doesn't get cleaned up. I mean, we could let's just undo this. We could actually hack it where the way that I had it before, pretty much, where we're saying that but that way the game will never get created, right? So this is where our problem lies. So basically we can't listen. We have to basically ignore things while our game is disposed. And what I don't understand is like basically getting a new game. This is trickier than I thought. I'll be honest, this is much trickier than I thought. So here we get this, right? Which means, let's just go through it. So we got a game state event, right? I think we need a game ID, something like that. But I mean, it seems like what we're seeing, that we're getting multiples like that. We're still getting. I think the problem is that this guy never updated. This is like assigned to the stream. Maybe what we need to do is see the stream needs to be passed in, but it's almost like we want it to be able to be a getter. So, right, we basically need to get rid of this every time a new game starts. And the way that works with the hot restart is because when we do a hot restart, it basically recreates everything. I mean, maybe that's actually like a way of doing this. It's dirty, but if you just say what if you just say like we want to restart everything? Right? What if we just restart the client? Just for now. So let's see if that's actually possible. So this is basically the trick that I was thinking of. So basically we make this save for widget, and then we'll just restart the part that actually we need to restart, and then it will re-render everything from scratch. So I mean, we might just look at this code and maybe take that. Let's see what other options we had. I think that's like the best solution right now, because cleaning this up seems to be pretty tricky. And I think if we just make the, here we go, we seem to have a library. We didn't want to use the library, right? So we'll probably, this seems to be probably what just in the solution there. So let's see here. I mean, this is cheating, right? But let's just cheat a little bit. So we take this thing and we'll just add it to our widgets. And so we're not using libraries, but in a way we are. We just, so in this new folder. All right. So now we do we provide a new dot file here. Okay, so now we get this. All right, let's see. That's interesting. Let's see if we can fix it. So sometimes it's good to not use libraries, I guess, because now we stability, but now that doesn't work anymore. Okay. Let's see if the Stack Overflow answer actually was using that as well or not. Maybe we'll just use this one instead. So here we have the restart widget. It's also much shorter. So let's just try that and see what happens here. Take that one and okay, so the restart widget, we just wrap a widget with a restart. And how can we then restart it? Oh, here it's a static. Beautiful. So from anywhere inside the widgets tree, we can then restart the app, which is exactly what we need. So let's just go here, and basically what we want to do, we're gonna do it at the very top, which is the safest thing. The very top, we're gonna wrap this guy, restart widget, and then the child is our app. All right, let's see. Okay. Actually, let's do this way. So we got, okay, now this renders nicer. So we got the restart widget. And so then from anywhere, when we restart the game, instead of even like saying we want to restart a game, we are just going to, do the restart widget. So let's see where that is. So let me look over here. So basically, we restart game. Where is it? New game requested, right? Okay. New game requested is passed to here. On new game requested. So we could do this, or we could just say restart widget dot restart app, and then we just give our build context. Now, obviously, we need to provide it here with that context. Right, and now it should be happy. So now obviously what will happen, we'll call this one. This will find in the ancestor state that will find this restart widget state, which is basically this guy here. And then basically what it will do, it will force a rebuild. By by, I guess, changing, yeah, it's changing the key, right? And setting the state, and that set state causes rebuild of the entire widget tree below this, right? And so what's below this? Well, our entire app now. That might be the solution that we wanted, which is easy. And it's basically just to work around us having to fix our problem for real. Let's see. Okay, we got the game over. Now we're waiting for players. No, that's weird, right? Why are we waiting for players? Did we change anything else? So we get the about 2 for you, right? So let's just look at the guy. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. I mean, we still might have to dispose things, just to be nice. I don't think it will really make a difference because all these things, all these things disappear. But we might have we might get ourselves a leak. Well, the stream builder would disappear, right? So it would actually be clean. But let's just do it this way. Let's set state here again. Okay. So let's if we hard restart this guy, now it works, right? So basically what I want to do is I want to do the same as a hard restart. It just worked. Did you see that? I died. New game. Yes. Okay. Sometimes the most dirty solutions work. We just restart the entire app. For now, that works. Okay, cool. So we got that solved. Finally, after struggling for so long, you can see that the whole game detaches, and then it restarts everything, and then the game attaches again. So we clean everything up, which is probably not that bad. Like we are sure that everything is gone now, right? And since we're disposing, we close our right. We're closing our thing. So we're good citizens, right? When we start a new game, we actually dispose the client and we dispose the game. Sorry, we also do that here, right? And so probably what we want to do, we want to move this into a dispose method. So let's just call this void. Not a real dispose because I think there's another. So let's just call this dispose game or something because I think there's another dispose on the widget, so we don't want to overwrite that. Dispose game, and then here we put that as well. Okay, so now we're clean, now we're good, we're happy, and we're gonna check that in. All right, so we need to add this here, and so let's see, we got this. So we don't want to check this in. That was just for practice. And so now let's check this in. All right, that was much easier than what we tried before. Now what we can do, we can change this back to normal. And now we can try the level. Sorry, we can now try to add another player to the level. What in the world am I doing? Simple level. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna have 2 player. I do not know what's going on. Okay, now working again. My keyboard didn't work for a while. So we got this, and now we should be able to restart the server, reload, hard restart this client, and then hard restart another, and just start another client actually. So this one's waiting for players. Now the thing that we're going to work on next is we're going to try to figure out how can we make the player that wins actually, how can we show the game over in a way that show that the player won. there's a really simple way to do this without actually adding any more server messages, right? Because all we can do is we can look at if there's only one player and it's us, and we are not dead, that means we won, right? So we can actually figure that out on the client side. And if you cheat, that's fine. Like, who cares, right? If you show yourself wrong messages, that doesn't affect anyone else. So let's shoot this guy. Now this guy is game over, and this guy now should show that that he's the only one left, and he should be able to restart the game, right? So let's do that. Let's think about this. Where would this happen? The client game, right? Basically, when we're syncing, and let's find that elusive sync method again. Here we go. So the sync method. This is a client game state. So we don't want to add logic about the player winning or not here. We want to add that actually to the game. So the game could figure out from the state. So when we update, right here, when we update the state, am I in the right place? Yes. So basically when we update this, we can look at how many players are left. But let's just actually look how we getting this, the game over thing. And we should do this probably similarly. So game over widget. So we're saying that so we're using the Hud widget, right? Or the game over widget. So now what we should actually do here is game over widget. All we have to do here, basically, we have to pass in let's make this a little better. I think we are on the right track here. So basically, if the health is greater 0, that means we're still alive, right? But then we can show either the Hud widget or the game over widget. So basically, we're going to show a widget, and we show winner or Hud, right? Let's do this. Okay, so by default, for now, we're just going to show, right? And we want to basically pass that snapshot in, which are stats. So you pass this in here. And now we just, for now, we always return the Hud widget, and then things should still be working fine. So here we're going to say winner or Hud. And we're going to give the snapshot data.stats. Oh, the data is the stats. Okay. And now we can do here, we can look at the game dot okay. And we're going to name this final only player left equals, right? Only one player left. And so then we're going to show only one player left. Then we're going to show the game over widget, except that we're winning. And we're going to pass this. This is same, except now we need another parameter, which is going to be winning. And so here, let's close this guy here. here basically we're saying final bool winning, or let's just say 1, right? And so here we're going to say okay, does that make sense? I hope. Yes. So basically now we have a game over. It's a game over, but it's either a good game over or a bad game over. And so here basically we're just saying that if we won, you won. Otherwise, it just says game over. All right. And so here now we're gonna pass 1 false. And then here we pass 1 true. I mean, it should actually be the same, right? So it should be 1. All right, so does that make sense? I hope so. So now let's try it. So let's refresh this guy. This one says game over, and the other one should also say game over, but okay, so we may have to restart this in order for this to work. So let's just let's actually hard restart. Well, we don't need to restart the server. Let's hard restart this guy and hard restart the other guy. Okay, so now what should happen is if I shoot here and this player dies, and this guy should say win and the other one should say game over. Okay, we didn't get the win here. We keep getting the Hud widget. Okay, so maybe what we need to actually do is we need to figure out, because the players are still there. Yes, that's the problem. We need to figure out how many players are alive. So final. So basically, we can probably just add that to the game state. Alive players, right? Bool. It'll be. Let's just make out of simple say number of players alive. All right. And so what we're going to do is, maybe we didn't like it. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take the players. And we're going to take the players. Players dot we need the entries or the values actually, right? Dot filter or where x dot health stats maybe. Oh, we need the player models. Do we not have the player models? We need this from then we need it from the game state. Okay. So game state dot players, that's what we wanted, dot where x dot players of values probably dot health. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Greater than 0. Dot length or something like that is greater than oh, that's it, right? Number of players alive. Let's name it number of alive players. Okay, so this is it. So then all we have to do is only one player left is game state dot number of alive game, I guess, dot number of live players is 1. I mean, now just like we can now inline that because that's now pretty obvious. All right. Okay, that should make sense. Now, actually, maybe if we just refresh this guy quickly. or maybe that guy. Yep, you won. We got it. All right, awesome. So now just for kicks, we're gonna restart both of them because I want to prove that this actually really works the way it should. All right, now this guy is going to shoot the other guy. This guy says game over. This guy doesn't say anything. Why are you not? Oh, it took a while. Huh. Why did it take so long? That is interesting, right? Why did it take so long? Let's try this again. Okay, so this guy now is going to shoot the other. Is it maybe because... Right, the problem is... Yes, the problem is that we only get this information if the stats actually updated. So, I bet you if I hit the wall, we're going to get the update. All right? So that's the problem. So the thing is that we are not processing, we are not asking for this until we actually got an update. So we just got this a little bit in the wrong place. So in a way, we actually need to put this here. So this needs to be something else. This needs to be like winner, or winner game over, or HUD, basically. And so what needs to happen is this guy actually needs to go. So this just needs to be all inside here. So basically what we need to do is, so this needs to move out. Okay, and it needs to take no stats. And so basically it either returns that or it returns it entire stream builder, because we can't depend on that stream updating to update that that state. So let's just put this here, and so then we just basically say Hud Widget, and we say the stats is this. And this is like the game over widget here, like we had it before. And obviously now we have some fun problems. Let's see. Might be missing a parentheses maybe. Or I might be having some, oh, we have some other problems here. So it's this one. All right. So now basically we're saying that we're going winner game over, or HUD. So meaning if we have one player only, we're going to give the game over widget. Otherwise, we're going to keep listening to the stats. And if we see our health is gone, then we are basically also game over. It's only that now when we got a sync, and it wasn't about our stats. So the problem is that the stats only affect our health. So once we got the stats of the other player, it didn't affect us. So it's a little bit hacky, and it could definitely be cleaned up. But I just want to see if this works now. So we have two players, and they're shooting each other. So this guy's shooting this guy. And why does this guy not yet? So now he's not getting it at all anymore. Okay, but that's at least something is different. Or is it possible that we're not sending? I mean, we're syncing. Are we syncing all the players' health? We probably should be, right? Oh, hold on. No, we're sending the alive players. Yes, number of alive players. So let's actually just put a log here. All right, and let's just soft restart. That's, oh, now this guy won. Even though he's the one that's dead. And now we won in both places. That makes sense because now we updated, right? So let's just restart both these games. I'm just a little bit confused why. Okay, number of live players 2, right? The problem is, see that we never hit this. Because there's no reason. Like, it doesn't know that it needs, that something happened. There needs to be an event of some sort. Right? So basically, the game needs to tell us when we need to rebuild. Like, basically what's happening is this code never runs because the widget never rebuilds. So that's why we don't know if the game's over or not. So what we actually need to do is whenever we update, we actually need to look at if we need to communicate the number of alive players, basically, somehow. Yeah, so that needs to, so basically the way we solved it here, right, was with a game state stats. Okay, let's see. So the game state stats are here in the game state. But those are only our stats. All right, so what I'll do is this. To not make this episode too long, we're going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to undo all these things that I did here. And we're going to check it in with the broken way that we had it. This was a broken way. And so this now works where once the player hits a wall, this happens, right? So what we need to do though is we need to say that All right, so something like that, right? Basically need a separate stream, and then we can listen to that, and then basically in here we are adding that stream, and then we decide basically this needs to become a stream, and instead of that one property, and then basically we get pushed a change, and then it will update, and then we get that, and then it will work. However, we don't have time for this right now. We'll do that in the next episode. I just want to see that everything is back to half broken, right? Basically, where we can at least see that had we that stream, it would work. So, okay, let's shoot this guy. This one is dead, and now if we hit ourselves, now we get the U1, right? So here we can now create a new game. Now that the guy's waiting, we can create a new game here. And now we are both in a new game. So that part is working. I'm pretty happy with that. The reason is also in the next episode, I want to kind of finish this to a point where we can say, okay, we showed how to build this. Obviously, there are lots of places to still clean up. But I want to basically say, okay, at this point we can finish. We have a fully functioning game. So next episode, I will add that stream. And I will basically create a nice level to fly around, and we'll just have fun, and I'll just show how different players could play together, and maybe I'll compile some sort of a to-do list that I will publish on the games blog to show things that still would need to happen in order for this to really get published, and then we can basically say we did it. So make sure to watch the next episode, and thanks for watching this one. Thank you very much. Bye.